What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Maya Desire, and of course, Shima's in the building. What's going on, girl?
Hey y'all.
Listen, over it is the title I'm naming this recap because I'm over it. I'm over it. I feel like the whole game has been rigged and hacked, and I'm just ready for the ending. So like, let's hop into it. Shubi left a message, right? Told
hmm
everybody that
That
he
he should
tried to take down the what is it, the
the vet.
oldies, right, the vets, there we go. And he told them that, and of course everybody found out that he was a catfish because he came in the game as Sasha. What did you think about him telling the Circle family that he tried to axe out the veterans? Like,
I felt like I don't know. I was just happy for Shuby to be gone. To be honest, I wasn't really after he said what he said. I'm like, right, and that's exactly why you got kicked off because you tried
mm-hmm.
to come in there and take down the top hitters, and you didn't really even know what was going on in the game. So it wasn't really a wise move on his part. But I could see why he would try to go that way. But I was just happy he was off the show because I was just over him, to be honest. I felt like he was giving me the same vibes as the guy who played his granddaughter, or
Oh, Brian, his daughter.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was. But actually, Brian was less annoying. So I
Yeah.
mean, what did you think?
I'm my sentiments match yours. I definitely was glad he was gone, but definitely thought that it was interesting considering if you wanted the newbies to win, quote unquote, like why would you air out the dirty laundry saying that you tried to take the best down? To me, that just didn't seem smart, and it just made me wonder. You know what I mean? So
Like
who
you felt
knows?
like it was a setup?
I feel like it was a setup, but then also he gave Jen, Xanthi and Brett the special power, which turned out that they were able to hack a profile. We don't know whose profile they was hacking, at first, but we just knew that they had the superpower. And so it just seems to be real messy. Like these last couple episodes have
Mm-hmm.
been messy for me. You know what I mean? So of course, as usual, you're supposed to, the person who leaves gets to see somebody, and like of course you would go see Jen. So now Jen is not saying that Shuby came to see her, and everybody's trying to like figure it out. Like, do you think that was a smart move on Jen's part, like not saying anything?
Yeah, I think it was a smart move, but then again, I'm glad it was a smart move, like for the situation that that it was. Like I feel like it could have went either way,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad that they didn't reveal it because I feel like that kind of made room for other people to say, okay, like who? Because I feel like Sam started to figure out that they were the hackers,
Well, yeah, basically before all that
which
happens, they go into circle chat and like Tom comes from Marvin, remember? So they were talking about the rebellion first before, because remember the hacker comes after the rebellion conversation. So they talk about the rebellion, and Tom says, like everybody's asking the question about, well, who did Shuby go see? And Marvin says, well, it's interesting that we're not talking about the rebellion. And so then Tom comes from Marvin, and Marvin snaps back, which where I'm happy to see, because like he stood up for himself. But I think that it is telling that nobody did ask about the rebellion, and they're only focusing on the fact that they don't know who Shuby came to see.
right. Well, I actually like the fact that who were we talking about just now?
Marvin.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I was losing my thought. But what I was saying was I really actually was falling in love with Marvin these last few episodes. Like I was so disappointed because I'm like I was actually starting to like him and like soften up to him, even though he did what he did as far as like trying to play both girls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really started to soften up to Marvin and I liked him a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
just, like, and he was, even though he was a little bit messy as far as like super flirty and everything, he was always loyal to
Yeah.
Raven. I
Yeah.
really like that. He was always loyal to the top. And I feel like it was a mistake for, not voting Marvin as high as they usually would have.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like it was just that yeah, I was definitely disappointed. And I just feel like that's just not how I saw that happening. But we have Samira who decides that she wants to chat up Auntie Jen about why she talked about it the way she did. And um honestly, I just feel like the last 4 episodes in total, people made some of the dumbest mistakes that I just couldn't see a smart person like calculating this out, which is why I kept saying like I'm over it. Like these last 4 episodes make me feel like this whole circle shit is scripted.
Well, I actually like Tamara, you know what I'm saying, because she's like no nonsense, and she's not, her strategy is not to kiss everybody's ass to get to the top, which I really, really like about her. But yeah, only thing I would say is I felt like she should have been more in character, which I feel like she's doing more of now because she's being more honest about who she is. She opened up a little bit to Oliver. So, I mean, I feel like she's starting to understand, like, hey, even though I'm a catfish, I can still be more of myself and less trying to just make up a person, because that, you know what I mean? Because she could have really came in as herself, like, because we know a lot of femme girls who are also very, you know, tomboyish or have a little more of a masculine edge, and she could have played with that as, you know, with her character as well. But I think she's starting to see that. So I do like the fact that she did call Jen out. I think that helped reveal like some of Jen's flaws to other game players, like not even on purpose. You know what I mean? So I did, you know, I'm not crazy about all the characters on this show. I do feel like they selected some people that are already like in TV. So, like I said, I've seen Oliver on YouTube. He's in a YouTube reality show. I think Xanthia and Brett were like on something else.
Brett was on Big Brother.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't like that they're choosing people who have already had a shot at reality TV. No, I feel like in order to get a more authentic like feel, they need to choose people who like pretty much like the first season. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing now, but everything from this show to Love is Blind has just, it's kind of on a decline. They're losing a little bit of the, what do you call it?
The we'll just call it the for right now. So I think that, yeah, I think that you make a good point. I do prefer when it's people that you haven't seen before, people that haven't been in the limelight of any sort. And I am disappointed with how this season is taking a turn. So like you said, you know, Tamara came for Jen, which was like, all right, cool, you know, like make sure that you having a straightforward, direct conversation. Tom then had a chat with Raven, telling her about Marvin not being, you know, as feminist as he thought based on his profile. And then Marvin deciding that he wanted to, you know, talk to Chaz, his buddy, and get some advice, which he did. And in that chat, he ended up being able to apologize to both women, you know, both Tamara and Raven. But of course, at that time, they're not really trying to hear it because it's late. So I kind of do wish that Marvin, after the Savage questions, that he would have went and just talked to them instead of waiting so long, because of course we see it backfires on him. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were more, if Raven was less emotional about, you know, what was going on with Marvin and Tamara. I feel like because I mean, it's singles, the circle, I get it, but we're all in here to play a game, which I also get. And I mean, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like she could have made a better decision based on how because I don't think she understood that she was being voted continuously at the highest ratings because of Marvin as well
Right.
as some of the other players. So I think if she wanted to be a little more strategic, she would have still kept him because he still was a loyal player to her. So
Yeah, I don't see how that made any sense. Like, if you know this is a game, you know it's about tactics. Marvin is loyal, like you said. Why wouldn't you put the other two? Like, you don't trust him because he flirted too bad. Like, that
yeah,
makes
like
absolutely no sense to me. Like,
we're men
it's
always flirting, yo.
but
Like,
but I also wish that Sam would have stuck to her guns. Her instinct had her dead to rights. Like, she had that shit pinned, and I'm sitting here like, there's no
yeah,
fucking
I
way.
know. I do wish Sam was less of a team player in this moment and more selfish with her decision because she know Jen is fishy. She know. And I
Yeah.
just feel like because Sam wants to also make sure she's like playing the game strategically as well, like she didn't want to piss people off. You know what I'm saying? And she's like trying to also consider the fact of what other people might want in the
But I
game.
don't think that would have. I don't think it would have went because think about it. Literally, after Marvin got sent home, right? Jen Xanthi says to Brett, like they literally kept the second biggest alliance, which was Tom and Jen. So if you would have taken Jen out the picture, I think that would have. That first of all, it would have given Chaz, Raven, and even Oliver a higher chance of winning, which I still think they have a high chance, but I'm just kind of like I'm just like mind
I'm
blown.
just
So
ready for Jen to go. Like I'm
well,
so
we
ready
wish
for
that
Brett and Anthea. Ready for them to go. They've been annoying me since the beginning, since they've been roommates, and like I don't really know what the point is anymore because I feel like it's kind of being set up to set them up as a couple. And I'm
I
just
don't even
yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't really see it for them, but I feel like it's kind of I don't know. It's just like I'm not sure what's the point anymore.
Yeah, me either. But we know that Jen chooses Chaz's profile. She decides to have a conversation with Sam. And actually, because she's seen the lingo before, she calls Sam, wifey and whatnot, tells her about Samira, and says that, she can't be trusted. Which obviously it's the plan has worked, right? So then
I don't think
we
so. You think it worked?
well, it worked at that stage because
Oh yeah, because they had already voted.
yeah, because she ended up vote after the conversation. Sam decides to vote for Tamara and puts her at the bottom. And so I think I just thought that was crazy to me how everything kind of went together and they were starting to figure things out. But Raven, one of my favorite parts a little bit later is that Raven creates a chat with Oliver. Actually, Oliver chats with Raven, and basically, just getting to know her and stuff like that. And it says put in a good word for him with Chaz, and then they have their little three conversations. So I thought that was really cool and fun because you can see them bonding. So you can see that there's a shift kind of happening. So now it's like Oliver, Chaz, Raven. You know what I mean, at the top, along with
Yeah, well, actually, Chaz is kind of getting on my nerves too because he is giving me a vibe like he feel like. I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I just feel like he should be the only gay boy. Like, what's
what?
he like? Yes, because he was
Wow.
because he felt like Oliver was the catfish, or Oliver did something, was the hacker.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's again because Jen played a really good game
She did not.
manipulating. No, she really did. She really did.
Okay.
She put it on. She said that she wasn't the hacker, right? That was initially what came out. And well, no, I can't remember. I know that the conversation was that Jen had the conversation with Sam, saying that Samira was an issue. Samira then was ranked bottom. Then Chaz had the conversation with Sam and said that he thinks that it was Jen, right? and they agreed. Then they brought Jen into the conversation. Jen then deflected and was like, well, I know it's definitely not Tom, it's not me, but who else could it be that would benefit from slandering Tamara, and came in with the rest of the bunch. That left out Oliver. It was just a process of elimination. So
well, I remember that part, but it was just like, I don't know, but I felt like it was too gullible on Chaz's end to believe it.
I think he was upset
because Sam wasn't buying it either. When them three got into the chat, Sam was clearly deciphering and was like, yeah, no, I don't think Oliver did this. Because she was like, oh, now you're trying to put it off on Oliver. Great.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like you could clearly see that that's what's happening. You get what I'm saying? Because Jen has been, let's be clear, Jen is a sneaky player. Like, even though they calling her Auntie Jen, that's how she's sneaking in. That's how she's able to maneuver and make the moves that she's doing. And I feel like she is being kind of overlooked because she's like playing this older, sassy, like, you know, woman. And it's like nobody's really seeing her as a threat at this point. But like Sam saw right through that. And so I felt like, I don't know if like Chaz is trying to be extra because he's like engaged and he doesn't want to do too much with Oliver.
I think he was just upset that and he was manipulated. Remember, you got to think about it from his point of view. His profile was hacked. You're upset. So even though he's usually the person that's calculated, he was just hot because like, who could it be and why? So when you start throwing out different names, to me, I think it was just kind of like a normal reaction. Like, yeah, damn. So if it's not Jen and it's not, you know what I mean, Tom, you know what I'm saying? Like he went down the list, and so he landed on Oliver.
I think the opposite, because I think how Sam thinks. Like if you're throwing somebody else under the bus, then you're like the culprit. I feel like that's the reason why I feel like Chaz is like smarter and he's been playing the game smarter than this. So I'm just like, what is his excuse for thinking that Oliver would do it? Like,
I feel like he just got emotional in the moment. The same way Raven gets emotional and decides to block that they both block Marvin, because that's not smart. Sam came off jump. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So Marvin?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, no, but I understood that more because they had, I understand being more emotionally reactive when you are like into someone than just being emotionally reactive when it's like some random person that's Auntie Jen telling you that another random person has thrown you under the bus. Now, I feel like at that point, you need to really think. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, in both situations, you need to think. But being like, oh, yeah, like putting so much trust in Auntie Jen is just so wild to me.
Well, I don't think that he put his trust in Auntie Jen. I think that the process of elimination, when she made that comment, and he was heated, because remember, he was really upset. The fact that he keeps track of who he's having these conversations with, he was like, nah, Sam, that wasn't me. Like, I swear on everything, you didn't talk to me. So he's upset that somebody chose him to hack him, to play him, to lie to Sam. So I feel like that's just probably where his head was. He wasn't really thinking it through, because he definitely comes back and he's like, man, you know, yeah, it's definitely Jen, but he had to go through.
No, he said it's definitely, even after that, he was still saying it's Oliver. And then when Oliver sent him a message, he was like, look at him still trying to.
Right, yeah. And then he had that other conversation with Sam and was like, you know what? Nah, it's definitely Auntie Jen. Like when they had the conversation. Yeah, remember? Yeah. So he just he was just upset. He was emotionally thinking. He wasn't thinking it through. So I think again, like the emotions played at an all-time high these last few episodes with Chaz, you know, and then with Marvin and Raven. Again, I'm just not like, to me, that absolutely made no sense, like none whatsoever. I couldn't understand blocking Marvin. And so of course, you know, Chaz basically calls Tom out in the chat about the whole, you know, not because by this time Tom is saying thanks for being there, right? And so Chaz is like, nah, we're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty. Like, why would you not tell us about the whole, you know, savage rebellion shit or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Because and Jen and both of them kind of like sidebarring it, like they're not really being honest. And to me, again, like you said with Sam, I'm just looking at it like you can't be taking this shit seriously. Like this man is clearly lying, and like y'all not seeing this. Like y'all just gonna act like Auntie Jen and Tom didn't just hold a big secret from y'all about what was going on.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I feel like it should have been harder to fight. I mean, either way, I'm glad Tom left, was eliminated, because now it kind of puts Jen right there to be going next. But yeah, I like Tom more than I like Xanthia and Brett. But
yeah, absolutely,
they are both players that I want to see leave the game. So I'm not that salty that Tom left. Only I kind of warmed up to him towards the end. Of course, I would have preferred for him to stay over Jen. But like I said, I still want both of them to be gone anyway. So
I just feel like he could have saved his ass had he told the truth, because everybody had their suspicions by that time, right? Because Raven came to the conclusion. So now Sam has come to the conclusion. Then Chaz came to the conclusion. Then Raven came to the conclusion. And then Tom came to the conclusion before he even got the confirmation. That's 4 people. And so you're trying to tell me that you thought it was smart. And then for Auntie Jen to vote you last. And have
only for her to vote you last to save their own asses. I was sick.
Stabber, like,
yeah, I was like over it. And then Brett is like, oh, I wanted to tell. I mean, Xanthia is like, oh, I wanted to tell him we have voted him last. And then Brett is like, I 100% didn't want to tell him that. And I'm just like, yeah, you guys were playing like, especially Brett, because he's the shady side of Jen. I mean, no, Xanthia is shady too, but
yeah, very shady.
Yeah, Brett playing it. Brett is just like, yeah, I'm playing to win, which is so crazy because nobody has voted their asses at the top. So
yeah,
you're still not going to win, no matter how shady your ass is.
Yeah,
and like you still about to lose anyway. So because the next episode, they're all going to meet face to face, right?
Yeah, they are. They're going to meet face to face. I definitely think one of my favorite parts of that episode was that, like you said, Oliver and Tamira had shared their coming out stories basically, and shared a little bit more about themselves. And so I really thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. As a person of the queer community, I appreciate the fact that they were able to talk about different ways that they struggle with kind of just being able to present themselves as themselves. So I mean, it was great to see that, and it was very it was inspiring too.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Still mad at Tom because Chaz then has a conversation with Tom and Jen to apologize. As soon as that came out, I feel like Tom should have side chatted Chaz after getting out of the group chat with Jen and said, like, hey, I'm going to come out to you and tell you that they are the hacker. Like, this man is in here being vulnerable and apologizing to y'all for some shit that y'all actually did. And you don't think to say, like, damn, I feel really bad, I'm going to tell him.
Right. Like, and the thing is, he had a conscience, and then he was like, well, it's a game. And it's just like, yeah, and you're being played, Tom.
Played to the T.
You know, it is a game, but the point of the matter is everybody has to vote you guys for somebody to win.
That part.
You know, and you know what? I will be really disappointed to see that everybody just goes ahead and puts Jen first. Like, I don't know why I'm getting a slight feeling because, like, she's like the older auntie lady.
No. Can't be. No way, sis. No way. Because if Chaz does not block Jen and he has the power,
but
I'm not watching the show.
I thought we had no more blocks.
No, like, at the end of the last episode, Chaz is the highest rated player.
Oh, yeah. He gets the super
influencer. Yes, and he gets if he doesn't block Jen, I'm not watching the show no more. I don't even care who wins because at that point it's got to be rigged because there's no way. There's no way.
No, but you know what? Because he's a strategic player, he might feel like knocking one of the higher players out because he feels like, you know what I mean?
I thought about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope he doesn't play it like that because that's really going to make it a tight. It's going to make it a tight.
What if he sent his wifey home?
Yeah, no, I just would not. Yeah, because it's just like, yeah, how are y'all playing the game?
Yeah.
How are y'all playing the game
It's
at this?
crazy right now. It definitely is.
Yeah, no,
So
I
of
don't.
course that very last episode was the Love Day episode, which is actually, one of my favorite episodes. It was sad to see Tom go, but I loved seeing everybody's messages from home. I think my favorite message, definitely hands down, was Raven's message. I love how both her friend and her sister were there, and the friend is also part of the ASL community, and so they had pure silence. Like the translator, or her interpreter didn't like interpret for her. They just had pure silence while the friend did the sign language, and I thought that was so powerful because it just shows you how important that community is, and how there's not enough shows, even when, especially in reality TV, that really gives that opportunity to the ASL community. So I really really enjoyed that. Like, that was my favorite message.
And I do follow Raven on Twitter, and she was saying that she was getting some backlash from the hearing community, that she was not, why is she using a typewriter or something like that? And she's like, well, the community, the ASL community really likes the fact that I'm using sign language, and this is what I use in my daily life. I'm not using a typewriter to talk to, you know what I mean? To talk to different people every day of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless I'm texting. So I really like that she stood up for herself, and she's like, hey, people like us exist, and this is how we communicate. And, just like we have to kind of, get accustomed, or we have to figure out ways to communicate in the hearing world. This is like a step into their world as well. And it's really not that difficult to read captions, or to, I definitely am glad that she decided to use sign language instead of just a typewriter or a typewriter, and use an interpreter. Cause that's important. Cause if her interpreter / friend wasn't there, we wouldn't get the same vibes. He really interprets what she's saying.
He does.
He's not just an interpreter they found somewhere and they brought him. He knows the dialogue, because there is a difference between Black American ASL and then just ASL. Just like we have AAVE, African American Vernacular, it's the same thing with sign language. So you need somebody there that's going to be able to interpret it the way that you're saying it. And we get to see personality. We get to see the way that she signs, the way that she talks. And it's amazing. I love that, I just love that she's putting herself out there in this way for the world to see. So
absolutely, I love it.
Her on more reality TV as well.
Listen, I'm rooting for Raven. I'm rooting for Raven. So of course, as we end this review out, Tom goes to see Auntie Jen, figures out that Auntie Jen is not Auntie Jen, and they give a little bit of their backstory. And he's shocked, but he's like, it's gonna be hard to knock those 3 down. And I'm glad that he made that clear. Like, now you're on your own. It's gonna be hard for you to win, but hey, best of luck to you. So I'm interested to see what his farewell message will be to the rest of the Circle family. And like we said, there's one more blocking, and then it's the final 4. They will all meet face to face, and then we will see them out live, and they will announce the winner. I truly hope that Chaz blocks Auntie Jen, because it would just not. I would be baffled at who wins this game.
That would be so annoying. That would be so annoying. But I feel like, I'm trying to be like, okay, but they've been playing this game so all over the place that I just honestly don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. So, all right, guys, you know what it is. Let us know your thoughts. Who do you want to win? What the hell did you think of episodes? What is this now? I think it's 9 through 12. Yeah, so episodes 9 through 12. Let us know your thoughts. What are you thinking? What surprised you the most? Who do you want to win? Shit, who do you want Chaz to send home on this finale? Tell us your thoughts, because you have heard ours, and I am still team Chaz, Raven, or Oliver at this point. Those are my top 3. What about you, sis?
Raven, Chaz. Oliver just got there. Okay, one thing before we go, the way Oliver was weeping at that message, like he had been there the whole time. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. The weeping was killing me. I almost wanted to fast forward, but I couldn't because I'm like in the behind the scenes, getting the behind the scenes access, and I can't fast forward. I'm like, this man is weeping like he's been on the show the whole time.
Yo, leave Oliver alone. He like misses
Oliver.
home.
I really like Oliver, but baby, you didn't need to weep like that. You didn't need to do that.
Leave that man alone. All right, y'all. You know what it is. Until next time, you will see us here. We will have the finale review for y'all, so stay tuned. And until next time, peace.
Peace.